The opposition has offered some revenue alternatives, but their sums do not add up. I look forward to hearing concrete alternatives from the opposition, not just opportunistic or populist ideas to chip away bit by bit at trust in government, but a serious alternative agenda for an alternative government. I believe the opposition and the Workers' Party in particular broadly agrees with and supports the government's policy directions. They want us to do more in certain areas, as we have heard from the speeches today, and I'm sure in the coming days, but there is general support for the moves that we have proposed. But there is one fundamental difference. When we plan to spend more, the PAP government will always tell you plainly how we propose to raise revenues and ensure that our budget remains balanced over the medium term. The opposition has offered some revenue alternatives, but their sums do not add up. We don't need to go through the detailed arguments again, but without the GST, which the Workers' Party still does not support, and I'm not even talking about the increase in GST, but the entire GST, which the Workers' Party still does not support, we will face a huge funding gap. And none of the alternatives that the Workers' Party has suggested will make up for the shortfall. In this debate and over the course of the remaining term of government, I look forward to hearing concrete alternatives from the opposition, not just opportunistic or populist ideas to chip away bit by bit at trust in government, but a serious alternative agenda for an alternative government. I have said this before, I do not assume that the PAP will win the next general election or that I will inevitably take over as Prime Minister. Every general election from now on will be about who forms the government, not just what percentage of the votes the PAP receives and how many seats the opposition wins. As we develop into a mature democracy, we must have not just a serious government, but also a serious opposition that thinks carefully about what it will do as government. Where the opposition have good ideas, or where they can make a contribution to the ideas for improving our country, we welcome them. But we ask that you be upfront about the realities and trade-offs we face as a nation and be honest about your plans, policies, and intentions. Taken together, what do these shifts to our social compact mean? In fact, some ask, has the 4G team shifted to the left? It's not so simple. Our governing approach is not so easy to characterize along the traditional political spectrum of left and right. After all, we have always strived to appeal to a broad base of Singaporeans, and we have always taken care not to base our legitimacy on any narrow social group or class. We also do not blindly copy or replicate the models of other countries. The countries with more welfarist policies in continental Europe and the Nordics have much higher levels of state-financed welfare provisions. From the government's point of view, it is very clear we do not intend to adopt such a model of comprehensive universal welfare. Instead, we will chart our own way forward, staying true to our core values. While we will indeed do more to strengthen social safety nets, we will move with prudence and discipline and not end up inflicting heavy tax burdens on everyone. Today, our overall tax burden for the middle income group is far lower than other advanced nations, and we will strive to keep it that way. We will continue to sustain real income growth for the middle. And this is why economic growth is non-negotiable for us. We already know that our growth rates will gradually come down as our labor force expands more slowly, becomes older, but growth remains essential. If we don't grow the economic pie, there will be fewer jobs and less scope for social support. So please do not be mistaken. This government will and must always be pro-growth and pro-inclusivity. Faced with the stark realities of a troubled world, what do? My message to Singaporeans is simple. There is no challenge we cannot overcome, no obstacle we cannot deal with. Singapore can remain exceptional. We can keep the Singapore story going, and we can move forward together as one people.